Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Today the Tigers wrap up their series with the Orioles, and they do so with a fairly comfortable lead in the Central Division. The Tigers come in 4.5 up on Cleveland. KC 5 back as we welcome you to downtown Detroit. Beautiful day for baseball here at Comerica Park. Final game of the series featuring the Orioles and the Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, thrilled to have you with us here this afternoon as we wrap up this series here against the Orioles. Cleveland, though, 4.5 back. They're up to 500 in the standings now, so things are tightening up a little bit in the Central.
Oh, Tigers just need to handle their business. Since last year, the 4th of July, they're winning games at about a 700 clip right here at Comerica Park. So if they continue to win at that clip, Cleveland will not catch them.
Yeah, they're trying to take care of business at home here again today. Good pitching matchup for this one. Rick Porcello's been awfully good in his last handful of starts. Chris Tillman has been good as well for the Orioles.
Yeah, Porcello's going to have to be at his best here today. He's going to have to get that good sinker down at the bottom of the zone. He's going to have to mix in some of his off-speed pitches, which he has been able to do all season long. And because of that, he has pitched some of his best baseball last few baseball games. He doesn't walk very many, as you can see, 13 games this year, and 2 or few walks in most of those games. Tillman, he's got a pretty good fastball. This guy can get up to about 95. He wins a lot of games on the road. Today should be an interesting pitching matchup.
Chris Tillman 5-0 on the road, so we'll see how he fares here today against the Detroit Tigers. After a short break, back to the Call Sam studios we go with Shannon Hogan. Coming up today, though, Rick Porcello trying to ground the Birds. Orioles hit a couple of homers in last night's ball game. They'll try and keep them in the ballpark today. Tigers O's coming up next. Back here at Comerica Park on a beautiful day for baseball here this afternoon. Rick Porcello getting set to make the start here today against the Baltimore Orioles. And Rick Porcello this afternoon is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Porcello has won his last 2 games and probably pitching some of his best baseball right now. He's only given up 2 runs in his last 13 innings. Needs to make sure he throws that sinker at the bottom of the zone to allow his infielders to work behind him. Also mix in some real good curveballs and changeups to keep this good Baltimore Orioles team off balance.
And we are ready for baseball this afternoon. Nate McLouth will stand in. The first pitch of the ball game is outside. 1 ball and no strikes on McLouth. Machado then Markakis here in the first inning for the Orioles. Each team with a victory so far in the series. Here's Rick's 1-0, and it's low and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Sunny day here at the ballpark, hence the shades being worn by McLouth. It is 67 degrees here at game time. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's in for a strike. Up with the right hand goes Mark Wegner. 2-1. Porcello in search of win number 5 on the season. Now the 2-1 offering. Lined and into right field. Base hit. McLouth will lead off the ball game with a single. Here's the rest of the lineup for the Orioles, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw McLouth, Machado, and Markakis to follow. Then Adam Jones. Chris Davis is the DH today. J.J. Hardy. Ishikawa is at first base. Flaherty and Teagarden doing the catching today for the Orioles. Here's Manny Machado. A couple of hits in the ball game yesterday. 2 out of 9 with a double in the series. And he looks at strike 1.
And very important for Porcello to make sure that Nate McLouth stays over at first base and he doesn't steal second to keep his double play in order. McLouth with 23 steals this year. He's only been caught 3 times.
Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball to second. Slowly hit, no chance for the double play. Machado is out, advance the runner.
That's a really mature play there by Omar Infante, not trying to force the issue to get the force out at second base with the speed of McLouth running down there. And there are a lot of second basemen that would have forced the issue. And once he gets the ball in his glove, it looks like he has time to get him, but he thinks better of it and just takes the sure out.
So the Orioles quickly have a man in scoring position now with 1 gone. Here is Nick Markakis, who career against Porcello is at .438 with a home run as well. Rick made a start against the Orioles 3 starts ago at Camden Yards and was awfully good. 6 innings. Certainly pitched well enough to win that game. Struck out 7, walked only 1. Ball 1 to Markakis. .292 this year for Markakis. Orioles right fielder in his 8th season with Baltimore now. Here's the 1-0. Markakis in the series just 1 for 6. He did walk 3 times in the game last night against Verlander. The Orioles beating Justin Verlander last night, eating up the series. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's in for a strike. 2-1. One thing Rick has not done this year to hurt himself is walk too many batters. He has a total of 13 walks all season and 70 innings coming in.
He's always had really good control since coming to the big leagues 4 years ago. That's one of the things that Leland's always liked about Porcello. Even when he does get hit around a lot, he does not go out of the strike zone. He makes you beat him with hits.
He has not had a start this year in which he has walked more than 2 batters in a game. Check swing roller toward third base. Cabrera charging. Markakis is out and the runner holds.
Adam Jones hit a big home run in last night's game against Verlander, but when these two met a couple of weeks ago, Porcello and Jones, Porcello handled him pretty good. He started him off with a really good breaking ball. It's a curveball, a little get-me-over pitch. Then he pounded him down with a couple sinker balls. Then he went upstairs with a four-seam fastball to finish Jones off. So you saw Porcello really change the eye levels of Adam Jones in that first meeting they had back in Baltimore.
Well, Jones homered to the ball game last night. His 15th of the year. He's knocked in 51. The cleanup hitter for the Orioles. And Porcello misses low, 1-0.
Adam Jones getting a lot of good pitches to hit this year with the protection of Chris Davis in the on-deck circle. Chris Davis having an outstanding year, and therefore a lot of the opposing pitchers have gone right after Adam Jones.
Chop to third base and a high chop. Cabrera has it there, and that'll end the inning. No runs, one hit, one man left. On our way to the bottom of the first. His first start, actually is making his first start of the year. He's in the lineup today. It's presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It features Jackson, Dirks, and Cabrera in the top three spots this afternoon. Prince at first. Victor is your DH. Johnny Peralta, the shortstop. Bottom three, a little bit different today. Kelly in right. Omar at second, and there is Holiday doing the catching and batting ninth. And they will face Chris Tillman.
And Chris Tillman does his best work on the road when you get him away from their hitter-friendly ballpark. In Baltimore, 5-0 in his last 6 starts away from his yard at home. Good fastball, gets up to 95. Also 12-6 breaking ball, the curveball, slider, and a changeup to complete the 4-pitch mix.
And so here we go. The Tigers send Austin Jackson to the plate to lead things off in the bottom of the first. Jackson has hit safely in his last 4, and in the series 4 for 7. He's knocked in a couple of runs. Luke foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson now 15 RBIs. AJ in the ball game last night knocked in a run in the 7th inning. Tigers had some chances late in that game. Right back through the box into center field. Leadoff man on.
That's when the team's going at its best, when Jackson's able to get on first base and touch home plate in the first inning, which he's done a couple times since coming off the disabled list. And the majority of the hits that Jackson has gotten since coming off the DL have been base hits right back through the middle. Really good approach these days for AJ.
Torrey Hunter getting the day off today, so Dirks elevated to the 2 spot, playing in left field. And Andy looks at ball 1.
And left-handers, and here's the ideal situation for you in a fastball count with the first baseman holding the base runner on. And see if you can get something to hit it between second and first. There's a big hole on that side of the infield. And Andy Dirks did his best work when batting in this number 2 slot last year.
Not too shabby this year either. 344 in the 2 spot. Here's the 1-0. Runner goes. Double pump throw down to second. Tag in time. And Jackson is still thrown out by Taylor Teagarden.
Andy Dirks is kicking himself. That's a hit and run, and he didn't put the ball in play. Therefore, Austin Jackson gets thrown out for the first time this year.
Teagarden had time to double clutch that throw, and he still got him. Base is empty now. 1 ball, 1 strike on Dirks. Fouled straight back. 1-2. Matt Wieters getting the day off today. Teagarden getting the start, catching Chris Tillman. Chopper foul down the first base line. Waiting on deck, Miguel Cabrera. The Tigers last night stranded 10 men in the ball game. Game ended on a double play off the bat of Cabrera. 1-2. Tigers check in today at 39-30. Jim Leyland has some tough teams coming in on this homestand. Boston will be next as Dirks fouls away another. And then the Angels, and despite the fact the Angels aren't playing all that well this year, they still have a pretty good lineup. And home is where the Tigers have done some of their best work. 23-11 in this ballpark. 1-2 on Dirks. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the first. No score. Popped him up in the air to shallow left. McClough coming in. A bit of wind out there. There are 2 gone.
Tim Hortons will sponsor the starting defense for the Baltimore Orioles. A 2012 Gold Glove .992 fielding percentage with just 6 errors for their shortstop J.J. Hardy. And he's about as sure-handed at that position as there is in the game today.
Here is Cabrera, 5 for 9 in the series, including a homer, and he looks at a strike. Miguel now at 359. He's had 19 home runs. Ball missing outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Baltimore able to do something last night against Miguel that they very seldom have been able to do in his big league career, and that's get him out. And Miguel has worn out Baltimore Orioles pitching in his career.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. Just looking up the numbers. Cabrera's hitting .309 here in the month of June, and that just seems rather pedestrian for him.
He has set the bar rather high for himself.
Most guys would jump at a .309. Here's the 1-2. Fouled straight back. Of course, that's on the heels of batting .379 in the month of May.
He was the player of the month in the American League in the month of May. There's his sidekick, Prince Fielder.
And the 1-2. Pop up right side, drops into right field. With a flare out there, 2-out single.
That's what great hitters do. And when you have 2 strikes on them, they're going to make sure the ball's in the strike zone before they commit to swing. And every now and then you're going to get jammed. But if you take the right path with the bat, you can still get enough of it if you're strong enough to muscle the ball into the shallow outfield to get yourself a base hit, as Miguel did there.
Second hit of the inning for the Tigers. And now here is Prince Fielder. Fielder at .289, 1 for 6 in this series against the O's. Ball 1 from Tillman outside. Cabrera and Fielder have combined to knock in 125 runs between them this year. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 on Prince.
Did you go out and get you a Sports Illustrated with Prince and Miggy on the cover?
I haven't gotten it yet. Did you get one?
I did.
Did you?
Sure did.
A couple of signatures on that would be nice too.
Yes, I'm putting them on my wall.
Here's the 2-0. Foul back out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike.
The Bash brothers, the dynamic duo.
They have done a lot of damage since joining forces last year.
Really, they've done a lot of damage since coming to the big league. Both of them.
Right now, Fielder trying to pick up Cabrera. He's standing at first base with 2 outs. And the 2-1. Low, 3 balls, 1 strike. Tillman really doesn't have a full windup, does he? It's kind of a mini windup.
Kind of short arms the ball as well. Doesn't get full extension when reaching back towards center field like you see some starting pitchers do. They reach back towards center field to get that real good arm length. He doesn't appear to have that, but he still has a pretty good giddy up on his fastball.
Missed it outside, and he walked him, so Fielder gets a base on balls. That'll put 2 men on. First walk of the game for Tillman. The stretch in which he is pitching from here with runners on base almost identical to his windup when the bases are empty. Victor Martinez standing in now. We'll see if the Tigers can take advantage of an early chance here. We mentioned all the men they left on base last night. Victor in the series 0 for 6. Cabrera and Prince on the bases. Fouled back out of play. 0-1.
Some of that credit last night for all the left on bases needs to go to the Baltimore Orioles pitchers. Britton, who started for them, was about as good as he can be. O'Day outstanding. Mattis was good. Tommy Hunter also pitched very well, and J.J. Johnson closed it out. So sometimes you have to give the pitchers a little credit.
Tommy Hunter was throwing 97, 98 last night.
Second time we've seen him this year, and that velocity has been up in that range.
Here's the 0-1. Broke off a breaking ball way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Martinez. Tillman originally was the 2nd round pick of the Seattle Mariners, and he came over in the deal that also brought Adam Jones to Baltimore. Eric Bedard was dealt away a couple of years ago, and that has turned out to be a really good deal for Baltimore.
Sometimes when you give up those young players at the trade deadline, when you're trying to acquire a veteran, you don't quite know how they're going to turn out.
No, sometimes it comes back to bite you. The way that Jones has matured with Baltimore, and sometimes it works out.
Yeah, Jones is a superstar in center field. He'll start the All-Star game in center field for the American League squad. That's how good he is.
One and 2 on Victor Martinez. It's got to be one of the toughest things in baseball when you're making trades, evaluating talent, knowing which guys to get rid of and which guys are probably keepers. Looking into that crystal ball. Here's the 1-2. Lifted back out of play, because when you look at the Cabrera deal the Tigers made, they gave up Cameron Maybin, they gave up Andrew Miller, who's kind of settled into the big leagues now, but those 2 guys, I don't know that they ever really reached their perceived potential.
They really haven't. Although Miller pitching pretty good right now for the Boston Red Sox out of their bullpen, so we'll see him tomorrow night. That's why David Dombrowski the last couple of trips did not travel with the team. He was out seeing the AA team and the A-ball team, because they want to make sure if they need a piece at the trade deadline, whoever the opposing team is asking for, he wants to make sure he's seen them and he's not giving up a blue chip prospect.
Swing and a miss. Martinez goes down. Tillman pitches out of the jam. Tigers strand 2. Today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome all of you to the Tigers and Orioles today. And Rick Porcello headed back to the hill as we go to the top of the second. On a somewhat cooler afternoon here. Temperature up to 69 now. A little bit of a breeze blowing in from left.
Beautiful day though here in downtown Detroit.
This is one of those days where you want a seat in the sunlight. The sunshine keeping you a little bit warmer than normal. Here's a ball outside to Chris Davis, who leads it off. 3 for 9 against Porcello with a couple of homers. Here's the 1-0. High towering fly ball center field. Jackson cruising back. 1 out.
Take a look at the Tigers starting defense behind Rick Porcello. It's the first start of the season for Brian Holiday. He was just called up a couple of days ago when Alex Avila had to go on the disabled list. The remainder of the defenders pretty much out reads on a daily basis, with the exception of Kelly subbing for Torrey Hunter at the beginning of this game.
J.J. Hardy is in the batter's box, and he takes a strike. Tigers had to make some moves a couple of days ago. That's why Holiday's catching today. He was called up when Avila was placed on the DL. There's a ball low and away, and Jose Alvarez will be starting tomorrow against Boston, taking the place of Anibal Sanchez, who went on the disabled list as well.
So that means the team will have to make another roster move after this game today.
Low and away in the dirt, 2 balls, 1 strike. You got to make room for Alvarez tomorrow. Fister, Scherzer, Verlander will round out the rotation against the Red Sox.
Off night for Verlander last night. Didn't have good command. Walked 4 in the game and gave up a couple of home runs. Just wasn't his night. We were talking about Miggy earlier. Here's another guy that's really set the bar really high for himself.
Right back toward the right side of the infield and caught on a soft line by Infante. 2 outs.
Last time we saw Alvarez, it was right before the Tigers went out on a 7-game road trip. He made 1 spot start in place of Sanchez, and he was sensational. He looked like he was a 10-year veteran out there. moving the ball all around the strike zone. Good breaking balls, good changeups, outstanding mound presence.
Was sent back down right after that start, but he's right back up here when Sanchez was placed on the DL. Porcello throws a strike to Ishikawa. 2 out, nobody on in the second. Travis at AAA Norfolk this year was hitting .316, but was hitless last night. Fouled away 0-2. Ishikawa was the Orioles minor league player of the month in May. 31 RBIs so far this year in the minors. Bouncing in. Someone make a good catch out there in the seats.
That's what they're telling us.
Oh. Nicely done.
That was a nice grab. 2-inch vertical.
Little Torrey Hunter in him there. Little mini leap. Okay, maybe not. There's a ball outside, 2-2. Porcello in search of the 1-2-3 inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball left side, going to get through, out of the reach of Johnny Peralta. 2-out single for Ishikawa.
One thing you know you're going to get when Porcello's on the mound, there's going to be lots of ground balls hit off the bats of the opposing hitters. But Ishikawa hit that one where Johnny Peralta wasn't. And Peralta had him shaded a little bit up the middle.
Second hit for the Orioles. Ryan Flaherty stands in. No balls, 1 strike on Flaherty. Had a couple of hits in yesterday's game, and he came in 0 for 14 before putting together a couple of hits. Now the 0-1. Bouncing ball right side, right at Infante. Inning over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. On our way to the bottom of the second, no score.
Athletic positions on the field, but it's not the case with these two, J.J. Hardy and Johnny Peralta. Both guys about as sure-handed as they come at the shortstop position. They don't have a lot of range, but what they do get to, they catch. And if you're Jim Leyland and Buck Showalter, you'll take a shortstop that makes every single play look like it's a routine play, and that's what Peralta and also J.J. Hardy do. Two really good defenders. Hardy's already won a Gold Glove, and Peralta looking to win one himself.
Not flashy at all, but there is value in being steady, and both of them are extremely steady as Peralta leads it off. And Johnny looks at a strike from Chris Tillman.
And they're cut from the same cloth. And both of their offensive numbers are pretty good. Peralta with a much better batting average. But take a look at the bottom there. 12 errors for Hardy, 11 for Johnny Peralta. And this is since the start of last year. We talk a lot about Elvis Andrews. We talk a lot about the kid in Kansas City, and rightfully so. These guys are very, very talented and lots of range, but they make a lot more mistakes than these two right here.
Sometimes that range, I guess, can get you into some trouble. But obviously, you want as much range as you can get, but there is value in that guy that will handle everything hit right at him.
And Jim Leland said if the game's on the line and it's the 9th inning, he wants the ball hit to Johnny Peralta.
Johnny doing it with the bat as well this year. 4th in the American League at 331. And Peralta's story is even more interesting in the fact that the Indians had moved him to third base. The Tigers traded for him and said, you know what, you can still play short. And I think that really kind of rejuvenated Johnny. The 2-2 is outside, 3-2.
That is a great point because Johnny has said as much and got himself in great shape in the offseason. Dropped about 10 to 15 pounds.
Don Kelly on deck. 3-2 pitch. Bouncing ball left side. Another diving stop by Machado, and he throws him out.
The Tigers, for the most part, the first series in Baltimore, they slowed Machado down from an offensive standpoint. But the last couple of nights, he's been flashing some leather. Also getting tons of hits. That's his 33rd double, but this is where he's been very impressive. This is last night going to the left and then going to the right, and then in today's game going back to the left again. So we're talking about a guy that's playing third base that clearly has shortstop feet. Takes him very little time to get up, and he's accurate with his throws across the diamond.
Yeah, I think that's the impressive point for a kid that's 6'2". 180 is what they list him at. He does get to his feet really quickly. There's a ball inside to run the count to 2-0 on Don Kelly.
He is just 20 years old, but he plays like he's a 5-year veteran. Buck Showalter, when he was managing the New York Yankees back in 1995, that was his last season as their manager. And Derek Jeter, a very talented shortstop, came up during the course of that year. Of course, Buck did not get a chance to manage Derek Jeter beyond that. But Jeter has gone on to carve out an outstanding career for himself, and Buck hoping he'll get a chance to watch Machado grow and mature.
That is ripped to center field, and Don Kelly comes up with a 1-out single. 3rd hit already for the Tigers. Bring up Omar Infante. Omar 5 for 8 in the series. The average up to 307 now. It'll dip below 300 for just a bit. And he had that 4-hit game a couple of nights ago against the O's. Fouled back out of play 0-1.
Here's today's high-speed stat brought to you by Charter Internet. And this year at home, there are a few Tigers that have been clawing at Comerica. Miguel with a good batting average. Johnny Peralta really good. Omar Infante at 377.
Here's the 0-1. In the air, right field. Markakis will cut it off for the out. 2 gone. Kelly retreating back to first base. Bring up Brian Holiday. He'll get his first big league at bat of this season. Called up from AAA Toledo, where Holiday was batting .259, couple of home runs, and 15 driven in. That action in 47 games at AAA. Holiday looks at a strike, 0-1. Ryan was a 6th round pick of the Tigers a couple of years ago, 2010, out of TCU. Holiday, a Texas native. The 0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2. Holiday takes outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The hope is that Avila will not need anything more than the 15 days that he's on the disabled list, and I think Alex certainly feels it's probably going to be more than enough time for him to get back. He suffered that bruise on his forearm, hit by a pitch in Minnesota. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In the interim, Holiday comes up, fills in as the backup catcher now for Brian Pena. Jackson waiting on deck. And there are some that wonder if Victor Martinez would catch, because he had done it in the past, obviously, and only in an extreme emergency, according to the skipper. That's sliced into center field, and it's going to drop. Base hit. Kelly will hold at second base. It was bobbled momentarily by Jones. So Holiday, after falling behind 0-2, signals to center.
Most of the hits that have been given up by Tillman today have been right where this one was by Brian Holiday, right back up the middle. It's a high fastball that he was able to get on top of and get himself a soft single into the outfield.
So for the second straight inning, the Tigers have 2 aboard. And we'll see if they can get the 2-out hit now from Jackson. Jackson had a base hit, was thrown out at second base. Trying to steal on a hit and run. And a strike called on AJ.
Sometimes if you are a base stealer like Jackson and you are given the hit and run, you still have to treat it like you're stealing a base, especially with a right-hander on the mound. I don't think Austin got a really good jump there because he was expecting Dirks to put the ball in play. Therefore, he was thrown out.
Here's the 0-1. Fouled off. Teagarden took that foul. 0-2.
Here's that steal attempt by Jackson. See, he doesn't really get a great jump. He's looking in the whole time, not necessarily running at full speed, and therefore thrown out by a couple steps.
Dirk was unable to put the ball in play. He's waiting on deck. Jackson now a 5-game hitting streak. And 5 hits in this series against the O's. Breaking ball missing high, 1-2. Tillman was born in Anaheim, California. Went to Fountain Valley High School and was going to head to Cal State Fullerton to play his college ball, but decided to sign professionally instead. Now the 1-2. Driven to left field, and McLeod comes in to make the catch. That'll end the inning. Jackson made a bid. The Tigers strand 2, and you're watching Tigers baseball today, presented by Bell Tire. America Park. Tigers and Orioles in this one, wrapping up the series. And tomorrow the Tigers open up a 4-game series. Boston Red Sox coming to town. It'll be a 7:08 start for game 1. If you'd like ticket information, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. What's going on in the East? Boston has a 2.5-game lead over these Orioles.
John Farrell, the new manager of the Boston Red Sox this year, has that team playing some good baseball.
Tampa has dropped to 7 back. Porcello back to the hill. Taylor Teagarden leads it off. Ball high to Teagarden. Nate McLeod to follow, then Manny Machado. It's been a tough start to this season for Teagarden, who has spent some time on the DL, just 1 for 23. And a strike called, 1-1. Did he have a big hit against the Tigers last year?
Walk-off home run in Baltimore.
An extra inning game the Tigers played there. The light hitting Teagarden hit a walk-off homer. It was a wave and a miss, 1-2.
It was all part of the magic that they enjoyed playing at home last year. They had a lot of walk-off wins last year. Baltimore Orioles. Extra inning wins.
Grounded foul right back behind home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the order waiting on deck, Nate McLeod. Orioles with their win last night are now 21-16 on the road this year. Here's the 1-2. Looked like Mark Wegner wanted to call it but didn't. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Porcello has posted a quality start in 4 straight outings and 7 of his last 9. Here's the 2-2. An excuse me swing. Porcello will barehand it. Teagarden is out. 1 gone. Back to the studio we go for a game break. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Here we're still looking for the game's first run as we play in the 3rd. Nate McLeod will stand in. He singled back at the first but did not score. There's a strike called on McLeod.
We have a lunch date tomorrow with Mickey York and a few people that were kind enough to bid on us as an item for that lunch at one of his charity events. You looking forward to that?
I am. That's going to be fun. We were trying to get it going in the off season. We couldn't, so we'll do it tomorrow. And Mickey has a charity event every year, and why in the world anybody would pay to have lunch with us, I do not know.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
But good for Mickey and his charity. Here's the 0-2. A little bit high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. McLeod now has been on base in 24 of his last 27 games. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's what Porcello has done so well during the course of the month of May and into June. That curveball has been a great pitch for him. Got rid of the slider and concentrating on the slider, the curveball and the change have paid huge dividends for Porcello the last 7-8 starts.
Here comes Cabrera on the pop-up. 2 gone. So Rick looking sharp again here this afternoon. He'll face Manny Machado with the bases empty. Over the years, Porcello's numbers have just been okay. Really not all that good against the Orioles. A 4.5 ERA and a 1-4 record. But this is a different Porcello these days. Swing and a miss.
They have done that a lot to Machado in the 6 meetings this year. Lots of first pitch breaking balls.
Checked his swing. Strike called. Machado came into the series with a 14-game hitting streak. The Tigers promptly halted that in game 1. But he bounced back with a couple of hits last night. Here's the 0-2. Off the plate again. Porcello stayed away with a fastball this time, but Machado would not bite. 33 doubles this year for Manning, which puts him on pace for, get this, 74 two-base hits this year. That is rolled toward third. It's going to go foul.
And speaking of doubles, take a look at some youngest players to have doubles or lead the majors in doubles. In 71, it was Cedeno with 40. Vada Pinson, 47 doubles in 59. And A-Rod, 54. He did it in 1996. Machado has a chance to shatter that.
One ball, two strikes. Only 20 years of age. Fought that pitch off to stay alive.
He leads the majors in doubles, hits, and multi-hit games with 30.
But really, outside of Baltimore, nobody really seems to be talking about this kid as much as they do some of the other good young stars.
I wonder why that is.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Porcello got him that time. Strikeout ends the inning. It's a 1-2-3 frame for Rick Porcello. Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Chrysler, imported from Detroit. And by Maxwell House Large Canned Coffee, good to the last drop. Nice day to be hanging out on Belle Isle. About a 70-degree day here in downtown Detroit. A little bit of wind. More like a breeze than wind. It's still scoreless as we go to the bottom of the third. The Tigers will send up 2, 3, and 4. Dirks, Cabrera, Fielder. Chris Tillman back to work, and the first pitch is lined softly to the shortstop. Hardy hauls it in. One gone. Now Miguel Cabrera. Little looping single his first time up to right field. Miguel now batting .361. Said good luck against Tillman. 4 for 8 with a homer against him. Ball one outside. That'll bounce in and drill Teagarden. 2-0. Tillman, as we mentioned, 5-0 on the road with a 2.41 ERA. Done some good work here in the month of June. Fouled back out of play. 2-1. Fielder, number 28, waiting on deck. Here's the 2-1 offering. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Tillman not really giving Miggy a whole lot to hit.
See what he's got in store here on 3-1. He gave him the heater right down the middle.
He sure did.
And Cabrera fouled it back. 3-2. And he walked it. So Cabrera's on with 1 out. Second time he's been on base in this game. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. Scouting report on Chris Tillman. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you. We kind of touched on the splits for Tillman. There they are, 5-0 on the road and a 2.41 ERA, which I suppose is not shocking when you consider the home ballpark can be a launching pad.
Can be.
Okay, I was just trying to be nice, especially when it heats up. 1 ball, no strikes on Fielder.
There was a boatload of home runs hit in that 3-game series when the Tigers visited Baltimore 2 weeks ago.
Exactly how many are in a boatload?
It was over a dozen.
One of those was a grand slam by Cabrera. Here's the 1-0. There's a strike called. 1-1. Prince at 289 had a base on balls in the first. He is the other walk that Tillman has had today. Prince continues to have a really lofty on base percentage, near 400. Shoots this one in the air to shallow left. Coming on is McLeod. 2 gone. And Miguel back to first base. That'll bring up Victor Martinez. Tigers stranded 2 in the first and 2 in the second. Victor struck out in the first inning with 2 men on. He went after the first pitch. Fastball from Tillman fouled it back down the left field line. 0-1. Victor right now has 33 RBIs, but has shown signs every now and then of catching fire, but has not been able to sustain it. Victor right now is 0 for his last 9. Here's the 0-1. So now Martinez behind in the count, 0-2. Peralta waiting in the on deck circle. Tigers got a 1-out walk from Cabrera. Fielder has just flat out to left. High fly ball, right center field. Adam Jones is there to end the inning. Tigers now have stranded 5 in the ball game. one. No runs, 4 hits Detroit. No runs, 2 hits for the Orioles. Jones will be batting second in this inning, which got us to thinking you could start a franchise right now. Which one of these 3 guys would you pick?
It would be a very difficult decision. All are very, very good. Jones right in the prime of his career with really good numbers. Mike Trout, oh boy, and Andrew McCutchen. I don't know what would you take?
Well, Bryce Harper we didn't put on the list because he's on the 15-day DL, but he certainly belongs on there. I'd probably go Trout because of age and what he's accomplished already. But I wouldn't mind having any one of those guys, but I think I'd go with Trout.
All 5 guys can do everything. Hit for average, hit for power. They can steal your base. Terrific defenders.
Markakis sends a ground ball to right field, base hit. Leadoff man on here in the 4th inning. We have seen McCutchen now the past couple of years because we played the Pirates so much. He is a really, I think, undervalued player in baseball.
McCutchen is the one guy that really doesn't have a lot of help in his lineup around him. Adam has some help now, and that's why his numbers are way up. Davis batting behind him. Trout has help in Los Angeles. McCutchen really has no one around him that's doing anything. Well, I shouldn't say. Well, he doesn't have the same type of players surrounding him to make sure he gets pitched to all the time.
Yeah, it's no disrespect to their lineup, but you're talking about guys like Pujols and Hamilton out in L.A. Davis with Baltimore. Ball 1 to Jones.
And Markakis is hitting in front of him, so he's getting fastballs to hit. Jones is an ideal spot right now.
Orioles have 3 hits. Leadoff man on here in the 4th. Porcello in search of the ground ball here. And he'll get a ground ball, but it's not a double play ball. Infante spinning to throw him out. Advance the runner. 1 out. We'll bring up Chris Davis.
Porcello a couple of starts ago in Baltimore was cruising against this Baltimore team. He had not given up a run. He had pitched 6 innings flawlessly, and then the first pitch he threw of the 7th inning, Chris Davis hit a home run and kind of unraveled there. He ended up giving up 3 runs in that game and taking the loss.
Fly ball, left field on the move. Dirks still going back, and it's going to carry out into the bullpen in left. An opposite field home run, the 2nd of the series for Chris Davis.
Now that's real power, to go the opposite direction with what appeared to be a lazy fly ball.
Dirks actually went toward the foul line and then realized that ball's taken off.
And there's no wind blowing out toward left field. That's a sinker ball, bottom of the zone. Not a bad pitch. Just flipped out of here by brute strength of Chris Davis. 2nd time he's gotten Porcello this year.
Is that country strong?
Well, it didn't quite qualify as country strong.
You used the term brute strength.
I did. There's a difference.
All right. Anyway, it's 2-0 Orioles. 367 in his last 8 games against Detroit.
Have a first half, Chris Davis.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's a strike called on J.J. Hardy. Lined out to the second baseman in his first at bat, 0 for 1. He'll shoot that one to right field.
J.J. Hardy doing something in this series that he very seldom does at all. He also got himself a base hit the opposite way in last night's game and one that hit up the middle. Right field somewhat foreign to Hardy in his big league career. Dead pull hitter.
Well, Hardy's now having a big series. It's 5 for 10 in the series. Here are the hits by direction for J.J. Travis Ishikawa. Ball 1. Base hit for Ishikawa back in the 2nd, his first hit of the series. He was called up before last night's ball game here from their AAA team. He has big league experience, most recently with Milwaukee, but mostly over in the National League with San Francisco. 4 seasons, parts of 4 seasons with the San Francisco Giants. Three hits in the inning for the Orioles. 2-run shot by Chris Davis. And that has given Baltimore the 2-0 lead. Davis extending his league high total now to 25 home runs. One and two.
Yeah, that ball left Davis's bat at 97.4 miles per hour.
Outside, and the count evens now 2-2 on Ishikawa.
If you're Porcello, you really didn't make a bad pitch. Yeah, but Davis just having one of those kind of years.
He also has 63 RBIs now. Porcello back him out of there. 3-2 on Ishikawa. Rick had 3 scoreless innings, then a leadoff single by Markakis and a 1-out homer by Davis. Runner goes on 3-2. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second base. He's not in time. Hardy gets a steal. Ishikawa strikes out.
It's a fastball that was up and away. They get the strikeout, but Hardy steals a rare base.
Just got in ahead of the tag from Johnny Peralta. Here's Ryan Flaherty with 2 outs. Ball 1 to Flaherty. He bounced out to Infante. Goes back in the second. And his average now at 169. Ball outside, 2-0.
This Baltimore team can hit. We only saw them for the 3-game series in Baltimore a couple of weeks ago, so we don't see them that often. But from an offensive standpoint, they score lots of runs, lots of extra base hits, a lot of power. And that's pretty much how they've been able to stay in the race, because their rotation right now is not clicking on all cylinders.
Well, they lead the major leagues in series wins, or tied for the lead with Boston, St. Louis. Tigers have won 13 series this year. In for a strike. When you look at sheer batting average, the Tigers at 281, Baltimore at 272, the top 2 teams. But Orioles have a little bit of speed in their lineup too, with McLeod at the top of the lineup and also Adam Jones. To go with that power they have. Bouncing ball, third base side. Cabrera waiting for it. Tries the sweep tag. Safe at third. Really Miggy's only play. Hardy moves up.
And JJ almost ran himself into the third out of the inning there at third base. Good hustle by him. And Miguel was not going to throw Flaherty out at first base.
Base hit. First and third for the Orioles. We'll bring up Taylor Teagarden. Breaking ball high from Porcello. Teagarden tapped back to the mound his first time up 0 for 1. Had some time on the DL this year with a dislocated thumb. This season offensively has been just as much of a challenge as last year was. Teagarden hit just a .158 in the big leagues last year. Former Texas Rangers prospect. High fly ball left field. Dirk's going back to the track and wall, and that one is gone. Taylor Teagarden may be only 1 for 24 before that at bat, but he's just homered. First of the season for Teagarden.
Back-to-back rough outings for the Tigers' outstanding starting staff. Verlander was touched up for 5 runs in last night's game. 2 came on home runs. 4 of those runs on home runs. And now a lot of runs today on home runs for the Baltimore Orioles.
2-run shot by Davis, 3-run homer by Teagarden. A 3-run homer from the number 9 spot in the lineup, but it's 5-0 Baltimore. In there for a strike on Nate McLeod. Teagarden's last home run was August 30th of last year against the White Sox. McLeod, a single and a pop-up. He drives one down the right field line. Kelly on the run for this one, won't get it. Bangs up against the wall. He's trying for 2, and he'll get in there safely with a 2-base hit. The Orioles are flexing their muscles here in the 4th inning with a 5 spot. And Jeff Jones comes strolling out to the mound.
And second time through their batting order, they're getting some real good swings at Porcello.
Rick in this inning has given up 2 homers, a double, and 3 singles. And because of that, there is activity in the Detroit bullpen. It'll be Darren Downs. Jim said he would like to stay away from Drew Smiley again today. We'll see if he's able to. Ball 1 outside to Machado.
Here's our speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. High speed pitch, that is. 94 top fastball so far today for Porcello. That's his 4-seam fastball. Usually right around 90 to 91 with his 2-seamer that has more action on it.
So Porcello now is facing his 9th batter in this inning. Rick's about to throw his 25th pitch here in the 4th. And Machado takes it outside, 2-0. Strikeout, ground out for Machado. 2 out of 11 in the series. That's it for a strike. 2-1. Manning was the 3rd overall pick in the 2010 free agent draft. Bryce Harper went number 1 in that draft. Jameson Taillon went 2, and then Machado pulls that one left side, base hit. Here comes McLeod. They will score him. That's an RBI hit for Manny Machado. So the Orioles bat around. They put up a 6 spot here in the 4th inning.
It's a breaking ball that stays up, and it allows Machado to get out in front of it and hit it right between Peralta and Miguel on the left side of the infield. No issues for McLeod to score with his speed and 2 outs, getting a good break from second base.
That last hit has Jim Leland off his seat. He's on the lower step of the dugout now as Porcello faces Markakis for the 2nd time in this inning. And it was Markakis that got it rolling with a base hit. 6-0 Orioles. 6 runs on 9 hits. That's in the air to center. Jackson coming on. And that'll end the inning. Big inning it is, though. A 6th spot for Baltimore. Red Sox at 7:08. All fans are invited to stick around. Enjoy a fabulous postgame fireworks display. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com if you'd like more information. Red Sox coming in for a 4-game series this weekend. First place Boston out of the American League East. Well, the Tigers have some work to do now as we go to the bottom of the 4th. The Orioles hit around. They send 10 men to the plate, score 6 times. In the top of the 4th inning, home runs by Davis and Teagarden. And an RBI single by Machado. Here's Johnny Peralta to start things off. Peralta, then Kelly, then Infante. Tillman's first pitch is up high. 1 ball, no strikes. Tigers have had their chances early on here. They left 2 men on in the 1st and 2nd. Got a walk but did not score a run in the 3rd as well, so they've left 5. Peralta had a hit taken away and a diving play by Machado. That was back in the 2nd. Grounded foul. We'll get back into the seats.
All Machado has done in this series is flash a lot of leather. And he's gotten himself 4 hits now, too.
Two and 1. Orioles got 7 hits, scored 6 times last half inning, both equaling season highs for an inning for the Orioles. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Johnny's got extra bases again. And he is in with a leadoff double. 4th hit of the series for Peralta.
Impressive offensive season continues for Johnny Peralta. And there's a lot of timing that goes into his swing with that high leg kick. And that can be troublesome for some hitters during the course of the season from a timing issue, but it hasn't been that way for Peralta this year.
Here is Don Kelly. He singled back in the 2nd. Peralta came in 4th in the American League in hitting. Should have 2 hits today if it wasn't robbed his first time up. Little floater to the shortstop and caught there by J.J. Hardy. Kelly's out, one away. By the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the new Detroit Tigers M&M McFlurry, and it's only at McDonald's. Using your cell phone, text Tigers, then a space, and then the player's uniform number to 37338, or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Here's Infante. It has been a heck of a month of June for Infante. 365 this month. In fact, Omar has hit over 300 2 of the first 3 months this year. Here's the 0-1. Backed him out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pulled to left field. That looks like an extra base hit. It's down. It's going to go to the wall. That'll get a run in. Omar goes to second, has an RBI, and the Tigers get a run back.
Johnny Peralta got himself a 90-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball up in the zone from Tillman, and so did Omar Infante, and the result is the same. Doubles for both, and the first run of the afternoon scored by the Tigers.
RBI 22 for Infante. The 2 doubles producing a run for Detroit. Here is Brian Holiday. A single to right field his first time up. And Holiday fouls it straight back, 0-1.
And Tillman doing what so many pitchers do in the majors. When they do have themselves a big lead, they tend to stop using all of their pitches. And we told you that Omar and also Peralta both hit fastballs. Earlier in this game, Tillman was mixing in all 4 of his pitches: curve, slider, and his changeup.
One ball, 1 strike. Tillman came in today looking for his career high 5th consecutive victory. Each of his last 4 decisions were wins. Hadn't lost to start since May 19th. Two and 1. The hit speed on the 2-base hit by Omar was 90.6 miles an hour off the bat. Two and 2 the count. Jackson waiting in the on-deck circle. Tigers trying to chip away. They've got 1 back. Still plenty of time in this ball game. We're only in the 4th inning. 2 and 2 on Holiday. That'll get fouled, back out of play. Holiday in his college days at TCU was the Johnny Bench Award winner, which is an award given annually to the top catcher in college. Played the college ball at TCU. Bouncing ball to short. Hardy has it there. Holiday is out. That'll hold the runner at second. Infante cannot move up. 2 outs, and we'll see now if Jackson provides the 2-out base hit. Austin in the ball game, a single for 2.
A really nice crowd here for a Wednesday afternoon game.
A lot of folks out in the standing room area out there in right field. Beautiful day for baseball, and as usual, they're packed into the ballpark.
Tigers looking to go over $3 million again this year.
Ball 1 to Jackson. Remember the days when $1 million was big?
I do.
When you get to 1 million fans, it is wow.
Now there are just a handful of teams, and the Tigers would be one. That every year 3 million fans are coming through the turnstiles.
Great day to come to the ballpark, get some sunshine, enjoy your favorite beverage, and hopefully today watch a Tiger comeback. Tillman ready with the 1-0. In for his strike as Mark Wegner goes up with the right hand. 1-1. Backed him out that time, 2-1. Tillman last year had pretty good numbers too. He was 9-3 with a 2.93 ERA, but he made only 15 starts. Spent the first half in AAA. And when he was called up, won some games for the Orioles. Dirk's waiting on deck. Ground ball, third base. Machado has it there. And that'll end the inning. However, the Tigers get one back on the RBI hit by Infante.
Afternoon, Porcello usually throws lots of ground balls, but today he is leaving some balls up in the zone. That wasn't a bad pitch to Davis, but Davis is having a great year. But the other pitches that were hit in that last half inning where they plated 6 runs, the majority of them were up in the zone, and the Baltimore hitters had their way with Porcello in the 4th.
So Rick with 6 ground ball outs, 4 in the air, 2 via the strikeout, but trying to hold him steady now after giving up that 6th spot in the 4th inning. 6 runs, 9 hits for Baltimore. The Tigers run on 6 hits. Adam Jones will lead it off. Jones, Davis, and Hardy here in the Baltimore 5th inning. Swing and a miss.
That is the pitch of choice to the Baltimore hitters if you command your off-speed pitches and throw them over the plate for strike 1. Because they feast on first pitch fastballs.
Lifted in the air to right, straight at Don Kelly, and that is out number one. Davis and Cabrera obviously battling for that Triple Crown numbers, and Davis talks about a conversation he had recently with Cabrera.
You know, he told me earlier this year, he's like, you know, he's glad to see me swinging it well, and not to let anybody tell me what to do, basically just to keep doing what I was doing. And I really appreciated that, coming from a guy who's probably the best here in the game right now.
It's pretty cool.
Kind of sounds like Lloyd McClendon, who is the Tigers hitting coach, when he is asked the question, what do you say to Miguel Cabrera? He says, I just stay away from him. I don't say anything to him.
Not a whole lot to be said, really. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Davis.
If there is an area where you want to pitch Davis, because he has that classic uppercut swing and hits lots of fly balls that find the seats, climb the ladder with good four-seam fastballs.
Breaking ball bounces in.
We'll see if Porcello goes back up to the top of the zone after the changeup that he just threw at the bottom of the zone to Davis.
Well, he muscled one out his last time up the other way, back into the bullpen. Spoils that one back into the seats.
You got to get the fastball up a little higher, especially with 2 strikes now.
Got him, strike 3. 2 gone here in the 5th.
It's a good fastball at 90 miles an hour at the top of the zone that froze Davis. And Davis this year looks for a lot of off-speed pitches when he's up there, especially with 2 strikes. And rightfully so, because of the year that he's having. So you can throw some fastballs by him upstairs because of that.
Here's J.J. Hardy. Ball 1 outside. Rick got the Orioles 1-2-3 in the 3rd, trying to do the same here in the 5th after the 6-run 4th inning. Hardy a single and a steal in the 4th. .421 this year in 6 games versus the Tigers. He had been .219 against Detroit pitching.
No success whatsoever.
Not so this year.
That stolen base was his first of the year, too.
Bouncing ball left side, deep in the hole. Peralta, off balance throw. He got him. Nicely done by Johnny. It's a 1-2-3 5th inning. You're watching Tigers baseball here this afternoon, presented by Bell Tire. To you by Arby's. Try Arby's new Market Fresh Turkey Bacon Florentine Sandwich. Arby's, slicing up freshness. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Gorgeous day in the Motor City. Nice look at the Detroit River. 6-1 Orioles as we head now to the bottom of the 5th inning. And ball 1 to Andy Dirks, who starts it off here against Tillman. Dirks Cabrera fielder. Tigers trying to get a little bit closer to down by 5 runs. They got a run in the 4th inning on an RBI double by Infante. In their first strike, 1-1. Andy is 0 for 2 in this game. Fly ball and a line out. Ball high, 2-1. I've seen that a couple times today. That breaking ball has just sailed on the right-hander Tillman. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that is in there. 2-2. Andy trying to shake an 0 for 14 right now. Ground ball. First base side straight at Ishikawa, who makes the play. 1 out. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's Miguel Cabrera. Pulled on the ground, left side, scooped up by Machado. He's been just about automatic down at third.
Between Machado and J.J. Hardy on the left side of that infield for Baltimore, nothing gets through there. Nothing.
Fielder a walk and a fly ball. One ball, no strikes on Prince.
Rick Adair, who is the pitching coach for the Baltimore Orioles, must have got into Tillman's ear after that last half inning. He's incorporating more breaking balls and changeups in this inning after throwing a lot of fastballs in that last half inning and giving up a run on the double off the bat of Omar Infante.
Tigers were bending him early in this game. They had 2 men on in each of the first 2 frames but couldn't score. And they finally got a run in the 4th on a couple of doubles, Peralta and Infante. 2-1 on Prince.
And meanwhile, last couple of nights, the Baltimore Orioles hitters have their big boy pants on. And most of their runs have come via the home run.
Three and one. Two today, the homers by Davis and Teagarden. Teagarden, the number 9 hitter. And last night they had the 2-run shot from Hardy, 3-run shot from Jones. 3-1 offering. 3-2 on Prince.
Tillman has 7 wins this year. 5 of those have come on the road. And so he clearly does his best work when not at Camden Yards.
Fly ball left field. That's playable for Nate McLeod. Then Tillman has a 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 5 straight. Orioles. And there's Jim Palmer, who does some color commentary, the analyst on Orioles television, which leads us to the AT&T trivia question. Who were the 4 pitchers with 20 or more wins on the 1971 Orioles staff? That is your question today. Of course, Jim Palmer, 19 seasons with the Orioles. He won 3 Cy Young Awards, 4 Gold Gloves as well, and a handful of All-Star games. That is your question. Meanwhile, we go to the 6th inning. Travis Ishikawa leads it off. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's the bottom 3 here for the O's. Facing Porcello, Ishikawa, Flaherty, and Teagard. Now the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ishikawa was hitting .316 down at AAA before being called up prior to last night's ball game. DH'd last night, playing first base today. The 1-2 pitch, checked it, but he went. That is strike 3. Ishikawa fans for the 2nd time.
It's where you want to throw the breaking ball with 2 strikes. You want to make sure you bury it. And you don't want to make a mistake with it. And Porcello doesn't, and he gets Ishikawa to go too far for strike 3.
Rick has his 4th strikeout. Here is Flaherty. Porcello bends him out of the way. Flaherty kept the inning going in the 4th with his infield hit, followed by the homer by Teagard. Action in the Detroit bullpen. Evan Reed is warming up. Two 2-0 the count on Flaherty. Here's the 2-0. In the air towards center field. Jackson is on the move to make the catch. Nice basket play by Austin Jackson.
And we talked about some 5-tool players earlier in the contest, some guys that play really well around the league. But Jackson, and it doesn't have the kind of power that the guys we mentioned, but boy, is he a terrific defender. Gets great jumps, very seldom has to leave his feet to make plays where other guys simply have to leave their feet because they don't get the same jumps that Austin Jackson gets in the outfield.
Teagard takes a strike. Although he may not have the power those other guys have, I will say this: that home run he hit in Minnesota, that second deck home run.
Yes, over 400 feet.
Yeah, made you take notice. The 0-1 is grounded foul.
And we told you that Teagard walked the Tigers off in a game last year in Baltimore. Extra innings. It was July 14th. He hit that off Benoit. And he also touched up Porcello today for a 3-run shot.
Part of the big 6-run 4th. This time he rolls it to third where Cabrera has it. And Porcello has his second straight 1-2-3 inning. 6-1, 6 runs, 9 hits for the Orioles. A run on 6 hits for Detroit. And the Tigers will send up Victor Martinez to lead it off as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5 in a row retired by the right-hander Tillman. Porcello, meanwhile, after that bumpy 4th inning, has now set down 7 straight. First pitch is high to Victor Martinez. Peralta, then Kelly to follow. 5, 6, 7 in Jim Leyland's lineup today. Orioles trying to win 2 out of 3 in this road series here in Detroit. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Since late July of last year, the Orioles have the best winning percentage in baseball, winning almost 62% of their games. The 2-0 pitch. 2-1 now at Victor.
And they're getting it done without a frontline starter, which is amazing.
It really is shocking when you think about it, because you can pick just about any team right now that is contending in the American or National League, and you can point to that one guy that is called the ace or the frontline #1 starter, but the Orioles have gotten it done. There's a fair ball down the third base line. Victor will pull in with a leadoff single.
They finally hit something down toward third that Machado couldn't field. He's made every other play in this series. He was playing about 15-20 feet off the line. You can't even see him. He's not even in your picture. And that ball sliced right down that line.
7th Tigers hit now. And we'll get a visit from Rick Adair. The pitching coach is coming out. There's activity in their bullpen. TJ McFarland is warming up. Rick Adair, the former pitching coach here in Detroit in the mid-90s. A couple of words for the starter Tillman. Now we'll see what the Tigers can do with this leadoff single. Johnny Peralta today 1 for 2, had a double in the 4th inning and then scored a run. He came around on the double by Infante, which right now is the only Tigers run. Ball 1. There aren't too many better this year in the American League, at least among shortstops. Average hits, on base percentage. Johnny's also scored 32 runs. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. .96 pitches so far for Tillman. Here comes number 97. And it's popped up foul, back out of play. 2-1. J.J. Hardy right now leading at short over Peralta. Cabrera still leading at third base.
Baltimore leading at 4 different positions. How about that?
Jim Leyland was quipping the other day, well, at least I don't have to pick an Oriole. July 16th, the All-Star game from Citi Field on Fox. Here's the 2-1.
And by Baltimore leading right now at 4 positions, you don't know how it's going to end up, but by 4 guys possibly getting in is going to cost Machado maybe a shot at making an All-Star team, and he's as deserving as anybody they have on their team. Well, close. Davis would lead the pack, but he's right there with the rest of them.
Well, I would say so. He leads the American League in hits. The 2-2 fouled off. Apparently so.
Thought it hit in there for a second. Nope.
2-2. The count stays on Mr. Peralta. Johnny came in fourth in the American League in hitting overall. Trying to do something here about a leadoff single from Martinez. Again, he just not been able to control that breaking ball. That was pitch number 100 thrown by Tillman. And a lot of them early on. 25 pitch first inning. The Tigers failed to score. That's going to be ball 4, and now the Tigers have 2 men on. Nobody out. Moving Buck Showalter out, and that means they're going to the bullpen. Tillman will not survive the 6th inning. He will give way to the bullpen. McFarland had been warming up. And the Orioles here will make a pitching change. 101 pitches today for Tillman. We'll be back. Wallside Windows pitching change.
Freaky fast delivery of the game. Chris Tillman has departed the game. He left a couple of runners on base, but while he was out there, he threw the ball over the plate. He allowed his defenders to make really good plays behind him, and because of that, he's in line to win his 6th game of the season on the road this year for the Orioles.
Here are the numbers right now for Tillman, responsible for the 2 men on the bases, but right now 5+ innings, 7 hits, 1 run, and he did walk 3. He will give way to the left-hander T.J. McFarland.
Pretty good numbers for McFarland this year, pitching in his 17th game. He's won 1 game, lost, and hasn't lost a game, and 33 strikeouts in 13 innings. 13 walks, I should say.
Matt Tuiasosopo will be pinch hitting. He'll bat for Don Kelly. Single and a walk chasing Tillman, the starter. And McFarland misses outside. He is only 23 years old. McFarland was a Rule 5 pick this past December, which means the Orioles, if they want to keep him in the organization, have to keep him with the big league club all year, so they have been carrying him. He pitched a little bit at AAA last year, but with the Indians, he was a starter. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike on Tuiasosopo.
And Tuiasosopo already has 1 pinch hit homer this year. And that came in Washington, D.C. against Dan Herron of the Washington Nationals. And it was a 3-run shot.
The 1-1 is a strike call. Now it's 1-2 on Tuiasosopo. Foul back.
And Tuiasosopo also homered in last night's game against Zach Britton, the starter for the Baltimore Orioles, to right field.
McFarland this year has inherited 14 runners. 8 of them have scored. And he's inherited 2 more here with nobody out. Grounded foul. 1-2 on Tuiasosopo. Trying to pick up a couple of base runners here. Martinez started the inning with a single. Peralta walked. That was the end for Tillman. Oriole bullpen did a really good job in last night's game. That's driven toward the gap in left center. It's going to get down. That might get 2 runs in. Martinez scores. Here comes Peralta. They'll send him home, and he will score. Tuiasosopo gets it done off the bench.
Buck Showalter, the manager of the Baltimore Orioles, had to know that if he brought in McFarland, that Tuiasosopo would pinch hit for Don Kelly. But this is the matchup that he wanted, and Tuiasosopo comes up big on a little tailing fastball down and away. And they're driving a couple of big runs, and the Tigers are right back in this game.
That is his 3rd pinch hit of the year. He's 3 for 10 now. And in a pinch hitting role, 6 RBIs. Brand new ball game now, 6-3. Still nobody out, and those runs belong to the starter Tillman. Here's Infante. Ball 1.
Very important here for Infante to try to hit something through the right side of the infield. And if he just happens to hit it at one of those defenders on the right side of the infield, that would still get Tuiasosopo to third base with just 1 out.
Ground ball back up the middle. Hardy is going to come to third with it, and the tag in time. It was kind of a tough play from Machado. Had to reach back on that throw.
As a rule of thumb, as a base runner, when you're on second base, anything hit to your left, you can go ahead and go to third base. You can see that ball's clearly to his left, but Tuiasosopo didn't get a great break. Therefore, Hardy, who is heads up at that position, goes to third base, and they get the out there. So Tigers lose that man in scoring position on the base running error by Tuiasosopo.
There's Brian Holiday. First out of the inning. Holiday skies one in the air. Shallow left. Nate McLouth under it. 2 gone. That'll bring up Jackson. Holiday 1 for 3 today. So Jackson 1 for 3 stands in. Tigers now have 3 runs on 8 hits. Ball 1 to Jackson. McFarland now has inherited 16 runners, and 10 of them have scored. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
If he continues to give up runs at that rate of the runners that he inherits, Buck Showalter is going to think twice about bringing him in with runners on base.
Pedro Strop warming up. Jackson takes outside 2-1. McFarland last year split time between AA and AAA. He had really good numbers in the minor leagues for the Indians, but as we mentioned, mostly as a starter. Won 48 games, had an ERA of 3.8. And a pickoff throw, runner back. Two and one on Jackson. That's a strike called. 2-2. Tigers got 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th. To claw back into this game, still down by 3. The Orioles got all 6 of their runs against Porcello in the 4th inning. Low and away, run it full now, 3-2. Darren Downs also still warming in the Detroit bullpen. Andy Dirks waiting on deck. Runner will go on 3-2. And a swing and a miss to strike him out. Jackson is out. However, the Tigers get a couple of runs back. Tuiasa Sopo, 2-run pinch hit double. It's 6-3. Now it's a 3-run game, 6-3 as we go to the 7th inning. The Orioles had a big 4th inning, 7 hits, double, 2 homers. Johnny Peralta 4 for 10 with 3 doubles. He's also scored 3 runs in the series, and Rick Porcello roughed up today, 6 innings, 6 earned runs. Again, all of those coming in a single frame. And it's a Wellside Windows pitching change. Darren Downs is on now for Detroit.
And Darren Downs also pitched in last night's game, having a decent year. And pitching in his 21st game, has 3 holds. And the earned run average at 3.71. Couple different fastballs for Darren. He'll cut it. He'll also sink it. He has a four-seamer that he throws up. Change up and a breaking ball.
So Andy Dirks will move over to right field That's where Don Kelly was playing. Tuiasosopo stays in the game to play left. Big pinch hit, double to score 2. And now we'll see if Downs can hold down the fort here as Nate McLeod leads it off the top of the Orioles lineup as we go to the 7th. First pitch swinging, and it's fouled back out of play. 0-1. 6-9-0 for the Orioles, 3-8-0 for the Detroit Tigers. McLeod a single and a double in this game. Pulled foul down the first base line. 0-2. Rick Porcello ended his start today by retiring the final 7 batters that he faced, but a good portion of the damage had already been done in the 4th inning. The 2 homers. Here's the 0-2 down the right field line. That is looking like trouble, and it is. Rattles around the corner and into second with another hit and another double is Nate McLeod.
And Brian Holiday going to go out and have a conversation with Downs after making a mistake with that 0-2 pitch. And when you get ahead of a left-hander with no balls, 2 strikes, you can't hang that breaking ball right over the plate.
An even 10 hits now for Baltimore. Manny Machado, RBI single back in the 4th. Ball 1. Ten of the 18 hits today belong to the Orioles. Machado now has driven in 38. One ball, 1 strike.
They can hit 261 extra base hits, which paces the American League.
Waving a miss. 1-2 on Machado.
Now the 36th time this year that the Baltimore offense has gotten at least 10 hits in a game. Pretty impressive.
Well, the Red Sox are coming in next, and they could swing at 2. They're 3rd in the American League in hitting. That bounces in, and it's blocked by Holiday, who can't find it, but it's right at his feet.
Holiday did a nice job just keeping this ball in front of him. Nearly bounced over his head.
Three and 2 now on Machado. Orioles trying to rebuild their lead. It was at 1.6-0. Markakis waiting on deck. And again in the dirt is Downs. That'll be a walk, and the first 2 Orioles are aboard here in the 7th. Well, here's the AT&T trivia question again. Who were the 4 pitchers with 20 or more wins on the 1971 Orioles? You're looking at one of them, Jim Palmer, who is an analyst right now for the O's. And the others are Pat Dobson, who won 20, McNally won 21, and Mike Cuellar 120. What a staff that was. Jim Palmer chipped in with 20 victories as well. Here's Markakis. Ball 1 again. Downs throwing one in the dirt. Back in those days, though, 4-man rotations. I don't know that you'll ever see a team with 4 20-game winners again.
No, and they had a chance to finish a lot of times what they started back in those days.
Here's the 1-0. That's in for a strike. Two on and nobody out. We're in the 7th. Two balls, one strike. The White Sox also had a staff that had 4 20-game winners, but you have to go back to 1920 for that staff. There's activity in the Detroit bullpen. That would be Evan Reed. And the 2-1. 3-1. So Darren Downs building a jam here in the 7th. Tigers have just gotten back into it on the 2-run double by Tuiasosopo.
Walks usually not an issue for Downs when he comes into a ball game, but he's threatening into walking 2 batters in a row here.
He's fouled back out of play. 3-2 on Markakis. And waiting on deck is their cleanup hitter, Adam Jones.
McLouth at second base has real good speed, but it may be a little bit too risky here on the 3-2 pitch to start the runners.
Down the left field line and headed back to the seats. Cabrera runs out of room. The runners were holding that time. A 1-for-3 day going for Markakis. He started the big 4th inning in which they scored 6 runs. He started that with a single. Markakis twice in his Orioles career has knocked in over 100 runs. And he fouls that one off.
Markakis had some really good plate appearances last night against Verlander as well. Some lengthy at bats.
Well, 7 of these 16 pitches now that Downs has thrown is coming this at bat. And again, he fouls one back out of play, reaching to stay alive.
Didn't you say that Markakis was the toughest player in the American League to strike out?
Indeed. And he is proving why in this at bat. Once every, well, nearly 12 at bats, Markakis strikes out. Best ratio in the American League. Omar Infante right behind him. Swing and a miss. How about that? He chased the pitch out of his zone to get him, though. One gone.
Downs will take it.
Jim Leland comes marching out. Adam Jones due up. He'll take the baseball now from Darren Downs. Evan Reed has been warming up. Tigers go back to the bullpen. And we'll be back. Sports Detroit is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Back here in the Motor City where the Tigers are down by 3. The Orioles are threatening here in the 7th inning. We remind you to get ready, fans, for Fox Sports 1, America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you want, and shows and specials that only Fox could bring you. America's new sports network is Fox Sports 1, coming August 17th. Evan Reed is the new pitcher now for Detroit.
Second stint with the club this year. He made his major league debut back in May. It was May 16th in Texas.
Runners go. Missed bunt. Throw down to second. He's not in time.
That is a good play right there by the Baltimore Orioles. Reed not necessarily thinking about the base runners because he just entered the game. He's thinking about Adam Jones. So they took a gamble there and they had a successful double steal. McLeod taking off from second and Machado following down to second base for his steal.
It'll be the 24th stolen base for Nate McLeod.
It's going to force the Tigers to play the infield in. McLeod really did not have a good jump from second base, but Holliday had already been told by Jim Leyland if they did steal that he wanted him to throw the ball down to second, and therefore they threw down there trying to get Machado.
Meanwhile, Jones waits on a 2-0. Here it is. Swing and a miss.
You can tell by the very aggressive secondary lead of the base runner at third, McLeod, who has speed, that he's coming on anything that's put in play by Jones.
Infield in for the Tigers. Here's the 2-1 from Reed. Popped up foul. Back into the seats.
Adam Jones got himself a hanging breaking ball right there and missed it.
Ooh, it was hanging. Reed was originally selected by the Rangers in the 3rd round back in 2007. The Tigers got him from the Marlins in April. Off the waiver wire. That is back up the middle, and Infante lost control of the ball. Omar nearly a circus play to get that ball home. And the ball doesn't even leave the infield.
Even if Omar is able to field this ball cleanly, he's not going to throw McLeod out at home plate. And it would have been a very difficult play to readjust the body, turn back toward first base to get Jones with the way that he can run. Yeah, good look here at it.
So the double steal leads to a run. It's an infield hit. It's 7-3. Now Chris Davis with runners at first and third. And only one out. Grounded foul. 2-run shot for Davis. He hit one to the opposite field as part of the big 4th inning in which they scored 6 runs.
Adam Jones over at first base, also a threat to steal. He has 9 steals this year. He hasn't been caught. However, if he was to run here, the Tigers would simply walk Davis, take the bat right out of his hands.
Drill down the right field line. It is hooking fair. And it bounces into the seats. That'll be a ground rule double, which probably cost the Orioles a run, but it's 8-3 now.
These guys can rake a little bit. Every time the Tigers score a run to try to get themselves back in the game, and the Orioles offense counters with a couple of runs themselves. Boy, is Davis having some kind of year. He's been locked in for 2.5 months now.
8-3 ball game as the Orioles answer the Tigers 2-run 6th with 2 here in the 7th. And a 3 RBI day for Davis. Still only 1 out of the inning. J.J. Hardy, the batter.
The one thing that you really don't notice about this Tigers team, because their starters have been so efficient, their starters have been so good, you forget sometimes that the bullpen has struggled lately.
Foul tip into the glove. 1-1. Well, as Jim Leyland said the other day concerning his bullpen, we still have some arranging to do and getting things situated out there. They went through a stretch where things seemingly ironed themselves out when Valverde was pitching well and saving ball games, but now that the Tigers again are going by committee at the back end of the bullpen, it's kind of undefined some roles.
You said the key name there, Valverde. When he's right and you know he's getting the ball in the ninth, everybody else roles are kind of defined.
Here's the 1-2. 2-2.
Reed's got a big arm. That's why the Tigers claimed him off waivers from the Miami Marlins on April 3rd. That last heater, 97 miles an hour out of the hand of Reed.
Popped in the air. Shallow center field. Jackson sizing it up. Catch is made. Runner will tag. Throw is up the line at third. Sac fly. RBI for J.J. Hardy. He got enough of that one to score Adam Jones. It is 9-3 Baltimore. So the Orioles have come into the series flexing their offensive muscles. That is for sure.
The Orioles have played about a complete game today as you can play. They have stolen a couple of bases. They made a couple of really nice plays behind Tillman, their starter. They've gotten some base hits and they've played long ball twice. So they've gotten it done in every facet of the game.
They have 9 runs, 12 hits. Tigers have 3 runs, 8 hits. 2 big innings today for the Orioles. 6-run 4th, 3-run 7th. (2-0) on Ishikawa. Teagarden, a 3-run homer in the 4th inning. Jones has just singled in a run here in the 7th. Davis has 3 RBIs. Here's the 2-0. Lofted toward right center field. Dirk's coming over. He'll cut it off. Inning over, but it's a big inning. 3 runs in. Sox at 108. It's Sunday Kids Day, and all kids 14 and under receive a free Max Scherzer poster. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com and get yourself one of those nifty Max Scherzer posters. What a season Max Scherzer is having. 10-0.
And really, it's just a continuation of what Max did the second half of last year. He has been one of the more dominant pitchers in the game of baseball for about a calendar year now.
What do you got on the white frames on the shades? Yay or nay?
I can roll with it. If Max is rolling with it, I got him. 10-0, buddy.
He can wear whatever he wants.
He can wear whatever he wants to wear.
Here's Andy Dirks. He'll begin things here in the seventh. Tigers now down 9-3. And Dirks looks at a strike 0-1. Cabrera then Fielder. These are the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in Jim Leyland's lineup. They are facing T.J. McFarland. Strike called. 0-2. Dirks 0 for 3. Ground out, line out, fly out. And the 0-2 to right field, and that will drop. Base hit.
Earlier this season, McFarland put himself in a situation where he was forced into pitching to the best hitter in baseball with the bases loaded, and it was in Baltimore, and he did not have enough arsenal to get him out in a grand slam by Miguel Cabrera. That was on June 1st.
The Tigers would go on a roll in that ball game 10-3, courtesy of an 8-run fourth inning that was capped off by the slam. And that was also the inning the Tigers had back-to-back homers. Ball low, 1-0. Cabrera in this game, single walk, 1 for 2. Strike called. Cabrera now just 99 hits short of 2,000 for his big league career. Outside, 2-1. Fielder on deck. We're in the bottom of the seventh. 9 runs, 12 hits Baltimore. 3 runs, 9 hits Detroit. Tigers have left 7 in this game. Yanked foul, third base side. 2-2. Cabrera has 19 homers this year. 12 of them came in the month of May alone when he won the Player of the Month award. Things have slowed a little bit here in the month of June, yet he is still hitting over 300. High fly ball. Right center field. Jones had to pick up the speed a little bit to get there. 1 out. Well, it is time now for the Farmers Insurance report card here this afternoon. And on this date, back in 1994, Tigers homered in their 25th consecutive game, which tied them for the second longest streak in Major League history. Texas homered in 27 straight back in 2002. 25 straight games with a homer for the Tigers. Fielder looks at a strike, 0-1. Prince, a couple of fly balls to left. Here's the 1-1. Off the end of the bat foul. 1-2 on Fielder. That 94 team featured Prince's dad, Cecil Fielder. He had 28 home runs that year. Here's the 1-2. Just off the plate. McFarland wanted that one, not going to get it. Trav and Whitaker on that team. Travis Fryman, Mickey Tettleton. Victor waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Fielder goes down. And Prince today 0 for 3. 2 outs. 2 strikeouts now for McFarland. Here's Victor Martinez. McFarland came on in the 6th inning after Tuiasosopo came on to pinch hit for Don Kelly. Tillman gave up a leadoff single, then a walk. McFarland came on, gave up the pinch hit double to Tuiasosopo to drive in 2, but after that, not a whole lot going on against the lefty. Tigers down by 6, 9-3 in the 7th inning. Oh, 0-2 on Martinez. Victor Rod had those stretches where I think both you and I thought, boy, he's just about there. He had a couple of those games in Houston when he hit some balls hard. Then he started racking up some hits, but he just has not been able to find enough traction.
No, he hasn't, and I think because of his track record and the fact that he's had a lot of success in the majors, over 300 hitting from both sides in his career, which is pretty rare. Just a matter of time before he gets it going consistently for about a month or so, and when he does, I think you're going to see the offense a lot more efficient.
Yeah, we talk about the importance of Austin Jackson at the top of the lineup, but Victor equally is important in the middle, right behind Prince Fielder.
Tigers have benefited this year, even though Victor hasn't gotten going. The fact that Peralta and Infante at the bottom of the order have, so you really haven't noticed it that much.
That's a good point. Yeah, those two guys at the bottom of the lineup have really been able to smooth over the bumps. That's hit on the ground, and a diving stop by the second baseman Flaherty, who will come up and throw him out.
Boy, they made some plays today.
Let's go to the 8th. Coming pitching matchup. It is presented by Gordon Chevrolet. The Red Sox will be coming into town once the Orioles leave after this game. It's going to be John Lackey and Jose Alvarez tomorrow.
Yeah, the Boston Red Sox finally getting a little return on their investment that they made on John Lackey when they signed him as a free agent a few years ago. He had Tommy John surgery a couple years ago, so he's just now finally getting back into pitching the way that he pitched for the Angels.
ERA just a little bit over 3 for Lackey.
The Boston Red Sox had to put Clay Buchholz on the disabled list, which means the Tigers will not see him. And he is 9-0 this year with a 1.71 ERA, which leads the American League.
Flaherty leading it off, and he rolls this one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And even though Boston's in first place, apparently John Farrell is having some issues with the starting rotation, because beyond Lackey, they have not listed another starter for the 4-game series,
which begins tomorrow and rolls through the weekend. Tigers know exactly who they're pitching: Alvarez, Fister, Scherzer, and then Verlander. Foul tip into the glove, 1-2. Boston in first place in the American League East.
Aceves started a game for them yesterday, so I would assume that we might see him in one of those starts over the weekend.
And the 1-2. Ball high from Reed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Flaherty, then Teagard, then McLeod here in the 8th. 12 hits today for the O's. Got him, strike 3. Flaherty caught looking. Got any more info on Boston?
Yeah, I think they got a little bit more data on him. Their best record in the American League, 44-29. They also lead the American League in steals. Ellsbury, he's their leadoff hitter. He has the majority of those. We told you that Buchholz is on the disabled list, and they didn't do very well here at Comerica Park last year, the Boston Red Sox.
Iglesias with an 18-game hitting streak.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he is. He's been one of their top prospects. Here's Teagarden.
Of course, they always have Dustin Pedroia at that second base position. Dustin's only committed 1 error this year and got his first day off just a couple days ago. He had played 70 games in a row for John Farrell.
Here's the 0-1. That's child's play for Prince Fielder. 70 in a row. What's Prince up to now? Let's see.
411, I think.
Is he? Fielder. 413 today.
Oh, I shortchanged him 2.
413 straight games. The 0-2. Strike called, and Teagarden is gone. A couple of punch outs for Reed. 2 away.
It's that big 4-seam fastball that Evan has that will get up to 97 miles an hour. And Teagarden couldn't pull the trigger.
Here's Nate McLeod. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch.
Big day for McLeod. 2 doubles, a steal, 2 runs scored. And a single. And he's quickly ahead 0-2.
You think people are convinced that this Baltimore Orioles team is for real in this 2013 version?
If they're not, they should be. And I know we've talked about the starting pitching issues. But they do have some young guys on the horizon. We talked about Gausman. We saw him earlier this year. We talked about Dylan Bundy, who is on the farm right now and probably going to be in the big leagues at some point soon. But Buck Showalter just finds a way to get the most out of his players. This is a team that can hit, and they can do it, as we mentioned, with a little bit of speed as well at the top of the lineup.
It also looks like Buck Showalter going to get a chance to finish what he started here. He did not get that opportunity in New York, nor did he get it in Arizona, nor Texas in his 3 prior stops as a manager.
In your mind, what is it about Buck Showalter that makes him a good big league manager?
He's bright. He's very, very bright. One of the brightest baseball minds that I've ever been around. And spent a lot of time around him back in '96 and '97 when we were working for the Arizona Diamondbacks before we had a big league team.
Boy, look at Reed. He strikes out the side. McLeod is caught looking. 1, 2, 3, 8. Here come the Tigers. Here at Comerica Park, we remind you that MLB.com at Bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. It's available for your iPhone, your iPad, Android, and even BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Tigers baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text that BAT to 31826. New pitcher now for the Orioles. Pedro Strop is on.
And Orioles are still trying to get Pedro Strop going. His numbers this year aren't very good. 720 earned run average in 25 games prior to this outing. 21 strikeouts, but 15 walks. And he was stellar out of their bullpen last year. And he pitched in 66 games last year and had a 2.44 ERA, setting up for Johnson, their closer.
First pitch is inside to Johnny Peralta as he starts things off here in the bottom of the 8th.
Strop got his first opportunity as a player in minor league baseball as a position player. And before they converted him to a pitcher.
It's down the right field line, slicing and foul. Strop did not start pitching professionally until 2006. For the first 3 years in his pro career, he was a position player.
There are a lot of guys walking around in the big leagues these days that got their starts as position players, as hitters, that have made the transformation into pretty good pitchers, whether it be a reliever or a starter. But you don't see guys going the other way. You don't see many pitchers converting themselves into good position players. Really, the only guy that comes to mind for me is Antilla.
Yeah. He was recently designated for assignment again. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strop appeared in 70 ball games out of the Baltimore pen last year, had an ERA of 2.44. Swing and a miss. Peralta's out, one gone. Had a couple of walk-offs in the big leagues last night.
Johnny Gomes got one for the Boston Red Sox. We'll see him tomorrow when the Red Sox come here to Comerica Park. And this kid Goldsmith in Arizona, now he's country strong.
Oh, we found someone.
He's country strong.
Oh, my goodness. Are you sure you want to give it up?
He is country strong. Have you seen him?
I have. And he qualifies. I agree. Here's Tuiasosopo. There's a strike called. Now, Marcus Thames not going to be upset with you, is he?
Nope. I think he would be okay if I just gave Goldsmith a little bit of love.
Strop ready with the 0-1 pitch.
We might see Marcus when we go down to Tampa on this next road trip. He is a hitting coach down there for the New York Yankees.
Really?
Yes. If he has a day off, I'm sure he might come over and visit Jim and coaching staff, and some of the players are still here from when Marcus played for us. What a quality guy.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Tuiasosopo. Marcus used to walk around the clubhouse that quiet confidence. Really didn't say a whole lot, but
nickname was Fish. He's a Pisces, you know.
Oh, is that why? I'd never heard that. I'm a Pisces as well.
I'll start calling you Fish.
No, he's called me Fish, and please don't start. Fish. What's up, Fish? Doesn't fit. Some nicknames just fit. Some don't. Here's Infante. What's your sign?
Libra.
I'm going to start calling you Scales.
Balance.
Balance. Omar the batter with 2 outs. There's a strike. RBI double for Infante back in the 4th. Checked it low and away. Tigers got 1 in the 4th on the Infante double, then 2 in the 6th. They made it interesting. They got to within 6-3 in the 6th inning, but that was as close as they got. And the 1-1. Infante would not offer. Strop hails from San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic. 28 years old. Recently turned 28. And the 2-1. Hammered to center field. Jones will have room, and Strop has a 1-2-3 inning.
Today's Whiff of the Game is brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Evan Reed, who was just called up from the minor leagues on that last road trip, struck out the side in the 8th inning. Firm fastball, 97 miles an hour. Still hard to believe that the Miami Marlins put him on waivers. And the Tigers were able to claim him off waivers with the fastball that gets up to 97 miles an hour.
What a day for baseball here in the Motor City. Unfortunately, the Orioles have done most of the scoring here this afternoon. And as we go to the top of the 9th inning, Tigers have a new pitcher on now. Jose Valverde has come out of the Tigers bullpen.
First 12 games for Valverde. His last 7 he's struggled.
0.75 ERA in his first 12 games back. 5 home runs though in the last 7 games. That is one of the key stats. Manny Machado leads it off. Swinging on the first pitch, 0-1.
And most of the home runs that Valverde has given up have come on that split-fingered fastball. Not getting on top of that pitch, therefore there's no tumbling action to it, dropping to that sidearm arm angle with the hand. And the ball just kind of flat, stays up in the zone.
Oh, 2 on Machado.
Yeah, there's a splitter right there that really had no tumbling action to it. At 82 miles an hour, that case stayed up there for Machado. You can see when Valverde doesn't get on top of it, that splitter just does not work all that efficiently.
Pulled to left. That's a base hit. Second hit of the game for Machado.
And Valverde asking Holiday, was that splitter up in the strike zone? After Valverde gave up that home run to Lorenzo Cain in Kansas City. And when the Tigers got back to Comerica Park, he came out early for some early work. And Jeff Jones said the split-fingered fastball was the emphasis of that work in the bullpen. And he threw some good ones, but a couple there to Machado stayed up in the zone.
Line drive to left. That'll be a base hit for Markakis. And so the Orioles have the first 2 men on here in the 9th inning. Back-to-back singles. Markakis with his second hit. The O's now starting to pile him up. That's 14 hits.
Well, Valverde's going to be left out there to figure out some things. And that's why he's in this ball game. And Tigers trailing by 6 runs.
That's going to bring up Adam Jones, so he's going to have to go through the middle of the lineup here. And Jeff Jones making a phone call to the bullpen. Line drive to right center. That's going to get down. That might get 2 runs in. It's going to go all the way to the warning track. Machado and Markakis will both score. It's a double and 2 RBIs for Adam Jones.
Adam Jones jumps on the first fastball that he sees from Valverde and whistles it up the gap into right center field to drive in 2 more runs in this game. 6 RBIs for Jones in the last 2 days.
And the Orioles are using today to pad their stats. Here's Davis. He's knocked in 3 this afternoon. Ball 1. 2-run shot for Davis in the 4th, his 2nd home run in the series, and an RBI double in the 7th as Luke Pekonen begins heating up. Ball outside, 2-0. .335 average now for Davis. 25 home runs, leads the American League. Big swing there. 2-1.
Davis has to be a really nice candidate for the home run contest at Citi Field next month, the All-Star game.
Now the 2-1. I would think he'd be one of the prime candidates, obviously leading the league in home runs, but he's got that, as you termed it, that uppercut swing that is conducive for driving the ball out of the ballpark. Last year he hit 33 homers.
Really good low ball hitter.
Oh my goodness, that ball's hit a mile. Second home run of the game, third of the series for Chris Davis, who put a hurting on that one.
I just said real good low ball hitter.
Valverde has given up 2 singles, a double, and a homer on just 10 pitches.
Well, Papa Grande is not pitching with much confidence here in the 9th inning for sure. Although he has struggled lately, he's much better than what he's displayed.
Davis knew it. Two-run homers in this game for Chris Davis. Way out to right field. And it's 13-3.
Well, if folks came into today's game or yesterday's game thinking that Davis could only hit homers because he plays in homer-friendly Camden Yards, you better think twice.
Ball 1.
He hit a home run over the out-of-town scoreboard here a couple of days ago. He hit one to left field against Porcello earlier. And then right field, they're very deep off Valverde.
The one that he hit over the scoreboard was estimated at 425. That's a ball low, 2-0.
So Chris's power works anywhere. They call him Crush Davis.
I get it. Instead of crush.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-0. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Peralta handles the hop. Hardy is out in a sarcastic cheer. Comes cascading down from the fans.
You think?
Jones, Davis, Hardy absolutely mashing in this series for the Birds.
Yeah, they've had no answer for the 4, 5, 6 hitters. All have homered, driven in bunches of runs, scored a lot of runs.
Strike 1 to Ishikawa.
Earl Weaver, their former manager, and who is in the Hall of Fame, would be awfully proud of the way the Birds are swinging the bats these days. They honor him with the number 4 patch on their right shoulder. He passed away earlier this season. Earl used to love the 3-run home run.
Probably aren't too many managers out there that don't like the 3-run homer. Ishikawa singled back in the second. Today they've gotten a couple of 2-run shots and a 3-run homer. Teagarden hit the 3-run shot.
They've made Comerica Park look small this week.
That they have. Ball outside, 1-2. Got him, strike 3. Ishikawa fans for the 3rd time today.
And one more look at the Davis home run to right field off Jose Valverde. and it left his bat at over 100 miles an hour.
The average for Davis when he puts the ball in play was in the mid-80s. That one 103. 2 outs. Here's Flaherty. He fouls it back out of play.
Baltimore has a really short flight over to Toronto this evening. They have the night off. They have tomorrow off. And they start a 3-game series against the Blue Jays on Friday.
The 0-1. Line to left. Ugh, there's another hit.
Boy, oh boy.
It's 5 hits now given up by Valverde. 17 hits for the Orioles in this game. I'm assuming that will approach a season high for them. Here's Teagarden. Here's a strike call. Orioles season high is 18 for hits in a game. They have 17 now. It was May 10th in Minnesota for their season high, the 18-hit game. Buck Showalter's team 3 outs away from coming into Detroit, winning 2 out of 3.
Which is really not an easy thing to do because the Tigers have played exceptional baseball here at Comerica Park.
1-2.
Since July 4th of last year, they are winning games here at a .700 winning percentage.
Now Valverde's 1-2. Off the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Orioles today have had a 6-run inning, a 3-run inning, and now a 4-run inning. Yeah, his hands that time, and he fouled it back to the screen. Teagarden is 1 for 4. His average is .074. In the air, shallow right field. Andy Dirks coming over, and that will end the inning. Another big inning though. Orioles flexing their muscles with a long ball in this game. Part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, the official window company of Fox Sports Detroit. Well, we go to the bottom of the ninth inning here in downtown Detroit. It's been all Baltimore today. They lead 13-3, and they pounded out 17 hits in this one. And the Tigers will have 9-1-2 coming up against Freddie Garcia.
Freddie Garcia just continues to surface with a new team every single year. And there was a time when Freddie came up with the Seattle Mariners. He was an all-star pitcher, and he had a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, a good splitter, curve, change. About 3-4 year stretch, he was one of the best pitchers in the American League.
Here's Brian Holiday to lead it off. And Garcia delivers a strike. The bottom of the ninth is underway. Fouled back out of play. Holiday in this one is 1 for 3. His first game with the Tigers this year at the major league level. Called up a couple of days ago when Vila was put on the disabled list. Little chopper foul, third base side. 0-2 the count stays. And it floats in for a strike called, and Holiday is out of there. One gone. By the way, as soon as this game ends, our coverage continues. Tigers Live post game. You'll hear from the skipper, Jim Leland, all the players, all the highlights, the breakdown coming up. Tigers Live immediately after the game, right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Here's Austin Jackson. Strike one to Jackson. Back up the middle into center field, and AJ gets a base hit. That'll be his second of the game. A lot of changes here for the Orioles tonight. Dickerson is the new center fielder. Steve Pearce is now in right field. Flaherty has moved from second to short, and the new second baseman is Alexi Casilla. There's a strike called on Andy Dirks. One on, one out. Fly ball right field. Pearce on the move. Two gone. Tigers down to the final out. And Miguel Cabrera will stand in. Miggy in this ball game, single and a walk. And he shoots one to right. That's a base hit. Second hit of the game for Miguel. They'll keep it going for Prince Fielder. Red Sox coming to town tomorrow. 4-game series. Day off Monday. Angels will be in middle of next week. That's how the rest of the homestand shapes up. Ball one on Fielder. Prince 0 for 3 with a walk. Oh, look out. There goes the bat, and it rattles into the Orioles dugout.
Adam Jones said, "I'll bring it to you, big fella."
Wow. Fortunately, no one was in the path. The 1-1. 1-2 on Prince. Freddie Garcia trying to put the finishing touches on this one. Orioles leading by 10 here in the ninth. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And the Orioles come into town and they take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers, who once again today leave 10 men on base for the second consecutive game.
Yeah, the Baltimore Orioles, they opened up a can today.
17 hits for the O's. And an impressive win over the Tigers here this afternoon. We'll be back to Comerica.